My husband is the gentlest person I have ever known.
Then tell your gentle human to surrender his ship.
In 11 years of marriage, I had never seen Ethan raise his voice. That is not an exaggeration made for effect. I am Commander Sylvara of the Vel'shari Frontier Fleet, and I deal in precise language. I do not use exaggeration as a rhetorical device. In 11 years, 3 deployments, 2 treaty negotiations, and 1 incident involving a malfunctioning reactor on the ISV Meridian that required both of us to remain completely calm. For 14 consecutive hours I had never heard my husband raise his voice. Ethan was an engineer. He fixed things. He thought carefully before speaking. He made tea when situations were difficult, and set it down next to whoever needed it. Without comment, he was, by the universal consensus of everyone who knew him, the most unhurried, undemonstrative, quietly competent person in any room. He entered. The Vel'shari High Command had, on 2 separate occasions, formally noted in his personnel file that his temperament was atypically stable for a human, which was, from the Vel'shari perspective, the highest possible compliment about a species they had historically found unpredictable. I had accepted this assessment because, in 11 years, it had been consistently accurate. I had not fully understood what it meant. The situation began at 0340 hours when the Drakhari war fleet, 7 vessels, heavy class operating outside their sanctioned boundary, dropped out of transit directly alongside our position. In the outer reach corridor, we were running convoy escort, 14 coalition supply ships, civilian crew, medical cargo for the frontier stations, unarmed. Low. Admiral Vreth opened a channel. Immediately. He was Drakhari, a species that communicated dominance through volume and speed, and had apparently decided that a single Vel'shari command ship with a human engineer husband was not a significant tactical concern. "Surrender the convoy," he said. "You have 4 minutes." I was on the bridge. Ethan was in engineering, where he had been running a maintenance cycle on the secondary drive systems. I opened the internal channel. "Ethan, we have a situation." "I heard," he said. His voice was exactly the same as it always was. "How many ships?" 7. Heavy class. Was. In the background I could hear him moving the soft sounds of a console being accessed. "What's the convoy's transit capability?" "Insufficient. They cannot run." Another pause. "Order." "Okay," he said. That was all. "Bay." The same word he used when I told him dinner was ready, or that a maintenance report needed his signature. I turned back to Admiral Vreth, who was now describing in considerable detail what the Drakhari fleet would do to the convoy ships if we did not comply. He seemed to be enjoying himself. The Drakhari frequently enjoyed this part, the part where they explained consequences to people who couldn't prevent them. "You do not understand what you are threatening," I told him, because it was accurate and I believed in accurate statements. "My husband is the gentlest person I have ever known." Vretha's response was what I reported earlier. "Tell your gentle human to surrender." What happened in the next 11 minutes is documented in the official coalition after-action report as an unexpected deployment. of modified drive harmonics, resulting in significant tactical disruption to hostile fleet formation. I will translate that into plain language. Ethan had spent the previous 18 months quietly working on a theoretical application of resonance frequency modulation to drive system output, something he had mentioned to me twice over dinner, and which I had understood in principle without grasping its full implication. The theory was this: every large vessel has a structural resonance frequency. You could match and amplify that frequency from an external source if you could essentially find the note a ship is made of and play it back at sufficient amplitude. The results would be, as the after-action report noted, disruptive. He had built the application into our drive system during the maintenance cycle he was running when the Drakhari arrived. He had not mentioned this to me because it was a theoretical project that he had not expected to need, and Ethan did not discuss unfinished work until it was finished. It was, as of 0347 hours, finished. The first Drakhari vessels' weapons systems went offline. 0348. Not destroyed, disabled. The structural resonance had found the specific frequency of the weapons array housing and separated it from the primary hull integration cleanly and completely, the way a key finds a lock. The second vessel lost propulsion at 0349. By 0351, Admiral Vreth had stopped describing consequences and had begun requesting clarification about what was happening to his fleet in the increasingly urgent tone of someone who has made a significant tactical miscalculation and is only now fully appreciating its scope. I opened the internal channel again. Ethan, still here. They are requesting clarification. I know. Can hear the channel. Should I respond? Was. Third vessel's shields had just folded inward in a way that the Drakhari engineers would later describe in their own after-action documentation as physically inexplicable. Tell them, Ethan said, in that same unhurried voice, that the convoy will be proceeding on its original route, and that, if any of their vessels attempt to follow, I'll find the resonance frequency of their hull plating. I relayed this to Admiral Vreth, precisely as stated. There was a long silence on the command channel. 7. Drakhari heavy warships sat in various states of technical difficulty in the outer reach corridor. While their admiral processed the information that a human engineer running a maintenance cycle had systematically dismantled his fleet's combat capability in 11 minutes without raising his voice. Understood, Vreth said finally. The convoy proceeded. At 0410 the bridge crew still hadn't spoken. Think. We were all, in our various ways, recalibrating. Ethan came up from engineering. 0423. He was carrying 2 cups. One for me, one for the navigation officer who looked like she needed it. He set mine on the console beside me and looked at the now retreating Drakhari fleet. Signatures on the tactical display. Everyone okay? He said. Yes, I said. He nodded, picked up his cup, looked at the display for another moment with the same expression he used when he was checking whether a repair had held correctly. Apparently satisfied, he went back to engineering.